Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're going to be looking into this really interesting historical fantasy novel
Oh, yeah.
called Ironcast, and it's set in 1919 Boston.
Hmm.
And the reason we're going into this is the world that the author builds here is just fascinating.
It is.
It's all about these two best friends,
Right.
Corinne and Ada.
Yeah.
And they have this ability, which the book refers to as hemopathy. They can manipulate emotions through music.
Right.
And we're going to be taking a look at some excerpts from the novel itself
Okay.
and just kind of see what we can learn about hemopathy and these characters.
That was good.
So I guess to start off, like, what drew you to this book initially?
Well, I'm a sucker for anything that blends history with fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ironcast does such a clever job of it. Like 1919 Boston.
Yeah.
It's such a vibrant setting. You've got the aftermath of World War I. You've got Prohibition starting up.
Right.
And then you layer in this concept of hemopathy, this ability to control emotions with music. It just adds this whole other dimension of intrigue and danger to the story.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine a world where a song could make you fall in love or betray your country.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of power we're talking about here.
So this hemopathy, it's not exactly a gift, is it? It sounds pretty dangerous.
Well, that's the fascinating thing about it.
Yeah.
It's both a gift and a curse.
Right. Right.
On the one hand, hemopaths have this incredible ability to connect with people on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
They can inspire, comfort, even heal through their music. But that same power can also be used to manipulate and control. And that's why
Oh, I see.
hemopathy is outlawed in this world. It's seen as too dangerous, too unpredictable.
And how do regular people, like, protect themselves from this?
Use iron.
Iron.
Yeah, there's this belief in the book that iron somehow disrupts the effects of hemopathic music.
Like a shield.
Exactly. People wear iron jewelry. They line their clothes with iron. Some even go so far as to get iron implants.
Wow.
It's like a constant reminder of the fear and suspicion surrounding hemopathy.
So in this world where hemopaths are basically outcasts, where did they go? Where did they belong?
Well, that's where the cast iron comes in. It's this underground nightclub,
Okay.
a sort of haven for hemopaths.
Hmm.
It's a place where they can be themselves, perform their music without fear of judgment or arrest.
Can you describe it a bit? Like, what's it like inside the cast iron?
Oh, it's amazing. Imagine this. Smoky back rooms, secret entrances,
Okay, yeah.
the clinking of glasses and the
Yeah.
low murmur of conversation.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the music pouring out from the hidden stage.
Yeah.
It's music that can make you feel like you're flying or falling apart depending on who's playing.
Wow.
It's both exhilarating and terrifying, which pretty much sums up the lives of our two main characters.
Corinne and Ada.
Exactly. They're the heart and soul of Ironcast. They both work at the cast iron, using their hemopathy to entertain and, well, sometimes to scam their way through life.
So it's not all glamorous then.
Not exactly. Being a hemopath in this world is a constant struggle. They're living on the fringes of society, always looking over their shoulder.
And it's all run by this guy, Johnny Dervish, right?
That's right. Johnny owns the cast iron.
Okay.
He's this charismatic, larger-than-life figure who takes Corinne and Ada under his wing, almost like a father figure to them.
Ah.
But like everyone else in this world, Johnny's got his secrets.
Mysterious.
Oh, yeah, and those secrets are going to come back to haunt Corinne and Ada in a big way.
So about Corinne and Ada, are they like, big stars at the cast iron? What are their specialties?
Oh, they're both incredibly talented, but in different ways.
Okay.
Corinne is a wordsmith.
Mhm.
Her songs weave tales that can entrance you, make you believe anything she wants you to believe.
Sounds dangerous.
Oh, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
And Ada?
It is a violinist, and she's got this incredible ability to tap into darker emotions. Oh, yeah, when she plays, she can draw out sorrow, fear, even regret from her listeners. It's powerful stuff, but it also takes a toll on her,
So she's not like enjoying making people feel bad.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Ada's actually very sensitive to the emotion she evokes. She's more cautious, more aware of the potential consequences of her abilities,
I see.
whereas Corinne is more impulsive, more willing to push the boundaries.
So they balance each other out.
Yeah, they're like two sides of the same coin.
Right. And even though they have this amazing gift or curse or whatever you want to call it, it seems like they can't really live normal lives.
That's the tragedy of it all.
Yeah.
They're constantly under threat, not just from regular people who fear them, but also from this organization called the Haversham Asylum.
Oh, that sounds ominous.
Oh, it is.
What is it?
It's this institution that's supposedly meant to treat hemopaths, but it's more like a prison.
Hmm.
There are rumors of horrific experiments going on there.
Like what?
Trying to control hemopathy, weaponize it, who knows? It's a place that every hemopath fears. And for Ada, it's a particularly personal nightmare.
Oh, how come?
Well, let's just say Ada has a history with Haversham, a history that she's trying desperately to forget.
Okay, so we've got outlawed magic, a hidden nightclub, a sinister asylum. This is all starting to sound pretty intense.
Oh, it is, and we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, wow. Okay, so for the listeners out there, think about this.
Yeah,
If you were a hemopath in this world, where would you go? Who would you trust?
good question.
Keep those questions in mind as we dive deeper into Ironcast. So they basically can't win, can they?
No, it's like they're constantly stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, and you see that play out in the relationship too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
With Kareen and Ada.
Their friendship is so central to the story.
It is.
It's like this anchor in a world
Hmm.
that's constantly trying to pull them apart.
There's this one scene early on
Yeah.
where they're like practicing their hemopathy and they create these shared illusions.
Mm.
Like 1 minute they're on a sunny beach, the next they're on this like stormy cliff.
Right.
It's so vivid in the book.
It is.
And it's not just a cool visual, it's like,
It's symbolic.
yeah.
It shows how deeply connected they are.
Right, like they can create whole worlds together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something they don't get anywhere else, not even with their families.
Yeah, I mean, their families,
They love them.
but they just don't get it.
They don't understand what it's like to be a hemopath.
It's not just the fear of being persecuted, it's also the burden of having this power.
Right, knowing that you can control people's emotions.
It's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, and then you've got this organization, the HPA,
The
the
HPA.
Hemopath Prohibition Agency.
They're like the embodiment of all the fear and prejudice surrounding hemopathy.
They're not just trying to control hemopaths, they're trying to erase them, aren't they?
Feels that way sometimes.
Yeah, and their methods are pretty terrifying.
Oh, they're brutal. Like raiding the cast iron, arresting hemopaths without cause.
Yeah.
And we know they're connected to Haversham, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That place is like a nightmare come to life.
It's the ultimate symbol of fear for hemopaths.
Yeah, and it's not just the experiments,
Yeah.
it's the psychological torture, the not knowing what's going to happen to you.
It's like the novel is saying that the fear itself is as powerful a weapon as hemopathy.
Wow.
And that fear can lead to some pretty morally ambiguous choices.
Oh, yeah. Like with
Yeah.
Kareen, she comes up with this scheme to con this wealthy guy using her hemopathy.
Right.
It's kind of messed up.
It is, and it raises all these questions about whether the ends justify the means.
Yeah, like is it okay to manipulate someone even if it's for your own survival?
It's a tough question.
And Ada, she's not so comfortable with it, is she?
No, she's much more conflicted.
Which is interesting
Yeah.
because they're both hemopaths, but they have such different approaches.
It shows how even within this marginalized group, there's diversity of thought, different ways of coping with their situation.
Right, and their friendship is tested by all of this, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially after the shooting at the docks.
Right,
That's a turning point in the story
it is.
because it shatters this illusion of safety they had at the cast iron.
They realize that nowhere is truly safe.
And what makes it even more disturbing is the suggestion that another hemopath might be responsible.
Whoa.
Yeah, suddenly the threat isn't just from the outside world.
It's coming from within their own community.
Exactly. And it raises the question of whether this oppression has created factions within the hemopath community.
Like some hemopaths are siding with the HPA
Maybe. It's definitely a possibility.
to protect themselves,
Yeah.
even if it means betraying others.
Which makes Johnny Dervish's role even more complex.
Oh, yeah, Johnny.
He's this father figure, but he's also operating in this morally gray area.
Making deals with the HPA.
Right. Using his knowledge of the cast iron to protect himself.
And it all leads to this huge revelation.
Yeah, the bombshell.
Johnny's been selling names of hemopaths to the HPA.
He's been betraying them all along.
Man, that's rough.
The devastating blow to Kareen and Ada.
It is.
They realize that the person they trusted the most, the person who was supposed to protect them, has been using them.
And the cast iron, their safe haven, it all feels like a lie now.
Right. It raises the question of whether true sanctuary can even exist in a world that's so fundamentally hostile to their existence.
Wow.
And if not, what lengths will they go to create their own haven, their own rules?
That's a good question, and it's something we're going to have to explore in the next part of our deep dive. So much for safe havens, huh?
It really is a shattering moment for them.
Yeah, like how do you come back from that?
Well, that's what's so interesting about the last part of the book. It's
Yeah.
like everything kind of falls apart for Kareen and Ada, but the
Mm,
author uses that to show us like the real strength of their friendship.
I can see that.
It would be easy to just like give up, turn on each other,
Yeah.
but they don't.
They don't.
They choose each other, even when it's hard.
I mean, they're still angry though, right?
Oh, definitely. Like there's this one scene where Kareen just lets loose on Johnny.
Yeah, what
It's
happened?
like they're hiding out in this abandoned warehouse,
Hmm.
trying to figure out what to do next, and Crane just explodes. Like all this hurt and betrayal just comes pouring out.
Yeah, she's not one to hold back.
No, not at all. But what's interesting is how Ada reacts.
Hmm. How does she react?
Instead of fighting back, she listens, like really listens.
Hmm.
And then she takes out her violin and plays.
Hmm.
And it's not like her usual performance.
Yeah.
There's no manipulation, no tricks. It's
Huh.
just raw emotion.
Hmm.
Fear, grief, anger, all of it.
So she's basically just expressing herself?
Exactly. And it's like a turning point for Corinne. It's like in that moment,
Hmm.
she remembers why they're friends, why they need each other.
Wow, pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, it shows how music can be this like incredible tool for communication,
Yeah.
even when words fail.
Right, right. So what happens next?
Well, things go from bad to worse when Ada gets captured by the HBA
Oh,
and they take her to Haversham.
that place is like a nightmare.
Oh, it's even worse than we thought.
Oh, no.
We finally meet Dr. Knox, the guy who runs the asylum,
Okay.
and he's like this chilling mix of scientist and fanatic.
What's he doing to the hemopaths?
It's awful. He's basically using them as lab rats, trying to figure out how hemopathy works
Yeah.
so he can control it.
But why?
He thinks he can create a serum that will make regular people immune to hemopathy.
So he can basically erase hemopathy from the world.
Yeah, that's his goal.
Man, that's so messed up.
It is, and it shows how far people will go out of fear.
Right.
Like their fear of hemopaths is so strong that they're willing to do these horrible things.
I mean, what does Kareen do? She's not just going to sit around and wait.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
Yeah.
She knows she has to save Ada. And this is where we really see Kareen step up.
Yeah.
Like all that cynicism, all that self-preservation stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it just melts away. And she's just focused on saving her friend.
So she goes after her.
Yep. She puts together this whole plan to break into Haversham.
Wow. Brave.
Oh, it's incredibly dangerous. And it's not just about brute force.
Right.
She has to use her hemopathy in some really clever ways to distract the guards, manipulate people.
Hmm.
It's pretty intense.
I bet. Does she get help?
Yeah, she does. Some unexpected allies show up.
Oh, like who?
Well, I don't want to spoil everything, but let's just say not everyone is who they seem.
Hmm. Mysterious.
Oh yeah, there's some twists and turns you won't see coming.
So does she save Ada?
Well, you'll have to read the book to find out the ending.
Come on.
No spoilers.
Okay, okay. But can you at least tell me, like, what are some of the big takeaways from the book?
Well, I think one of the big things is about the power of friendship,
Yeah.
like how it can help you overcome even the most difficult challenges.
Yeah. That's definitely a theme.
And also, the dangers of fear and prejudice, how they can lead to some really messed up things.
Right, like the HPA and Haversham.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I think the book asks us to question what it really means to be different in a world that demands conformity.
That's deep.
Yeah. And something we can all relate to in some way, right?
Yeah, totally.
I think what I love most about Ironcast is that it doesn't offer easy answers.
Mm-hmm.
It leaves you with more questions than you started with. But those questions are important. They make you think about the world, about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So listeners, if you're looking for a book that will make you think, that will challenge your assumptions, that will stay with you long after you finish reading it, then definitely check out Ironcast. It's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely.